Hi everyone, and welcome to the Macon Area Tennis Association Captains Meeting for the spring season of 2021. I am Patsy Bendall, the local league coordinator. When completed, this video will be emailed to all captains and to anyone else that's interested. Additionally, I will be attaching a copy of the captains video from the fall that covers website familiarity. It discusses the USTA website, how to access their rules and regulations, and what else is available on that website. On tennislink.com, I show how to appeal your rating, fill out the score sheets, player and captain's information, and forming a team. And on the MaconAreaTennis.com website, I show you how to access all the events happening in the area. It's a great video for new captains and players searching for information and unfamiliar with how to navigate these websites. There is a wealth of information out there. When I first published the video last fall, there was a contest to answer regulation questions and you'd win a prize. That portion of the video is no longer applicable and no prize will be given, but please feel free to email me with the correct answers. At the end of the videos, if you have any questions, please contact me at macontennisllc@gmail.com. I'll get that answer back to you as quickly as possible and share it with the other captains. Here is the agenda I will be discussing. I will talk about regulations, new option for captains when registering a team, COVID guidelines, and frequently asked questions. First, let's touch on regulations. Since there are no regulation changes to speak of, I thought I would address the different regulations that actually apply to all of us. There are 8 regulations that govern our local league play, and quite honestly, it can be difficult to see where one starts and the other stops. They overlap so much and have a significant amount of redundant information, but please don't let that deter you. First, we have the USTA national regulations. These set the foundation for all forms of tennis, including adult league play. This is where you can find requirements for setting up local leagues and what authority the local leagues actually have. They explain the NTRP rating system, disqualifications and appeals. They also discuss progression requirements to the national championship, plus much more. Then next is the USTA Southern. They cover the same items but more detailed. They determine what format we use and provide more information about the sectional or Southern championships. The USTA Georgia is where you'll find dates and locations of state or district tournaments, eligibility, and format for the championship competition. They also have more league guidance. Now we'll talk about the local league regulations. Our local league regulations adhere to all national, Southern, and Georgia regs, and then we add our own twist. Here you'll find the specifics that pertain to our league, our matches. Weather conditions that can cancel play, what time play starts, how we handle tie breaks, and when we exchange lineups, etc. If you have any questions pertaining to local play, you should always start here to find your answer. That being said, if you are not satisfied with one or more of the regulations, please suggest a change. Changes are presented to and approved by a volunteer adult league committee, then approved by the MATA board, and finally they go before the USTA Georgia for a review. Then we publish. The next regulation is Friend at Court. That covers all the details of the game. Here you can find dimensions of the court, racket requirements, rules, codes, scoring, USTA regs, emergency guidelines, etc. It is one all-encompassing regulation. Finally, there are Southern and Georgia combo regulations and Georgia tri-level regulations. All these regulations are available on the MATA website and the USTA Georgia website. Please become familiar with them. And my final word about regulations is read the whole thing. Don't stop when you find the answer you want, but continue to the very end to make sure you understand thoroughly. The next item is the captain's new option when creating a team. There are now 3 options available when registering a team: closed, closed but seeking, and open. Closed is the standard way that we have been doing things. Captains register, they get a team number, and hand it out to only the players they want on the team. Closed but seeking, here you Here you are still closed, but you have the option to receive emails from players that are looking for a team. Captains will receive emails from only players that actually qualify. You should also receive a note from the player to help you determine if they will be a good fit. And finally, the open option. Players can find and register directly for a team with a team number. From what I understand, if the team does not actually form, the player will not be charged the registration fee. At any time, if you want to change the status of the team from open to closed, just contact the LLC. And now on to the COVID guidelines. I want to impress upon all of you that these are just guidelines. We all have to do what is best for our own self and our own health and understand that everyone is different. Here are the guidelines. Before you play, there is a lot to read. Please read it and be familiar with it. Make sure your players are informed and ask any questions if you're unsure. That's important. As I said, I'm not going to read all of this to you, but if you go down to the bottom where it says do not play, don't play please if you're exhibiting any symptoms, if you've been in contact with somebody that tested positive, if your area is in lockdown and you're vulnerable. Preparing to play, protect against infections. Wash your hands, wash your hands. I shouldn't have to tell you that, everybody. Clean and wipe down your equipment. Bring a full bottle of water to avoid touching the tap. Use new balls. Consider taking extra precautions. If you need to sneeze, please do so into your arm or into a tissue, etc. When you're playing, try and stay at least 6 feet away. If you have a compromised immune system, maybe don't play doubles, but play singles. Avoid touching your face. Everybody knows that. Avoid sharing food, etc. Still lots more information. After playing, leave the court as soon as possible. Wash your hands again. Don't use the changing area. Shower at home. Don't participate in social activities if you feel uncomfortable about that. Use 4 balls or 6 balls, depending on what you feel comfortable with. Open 2 cans of tennis balls. Keep 1 to yourself if that makes you feel safer. Do what you need to do to make sure that you stay safe. This is a great brochure. I highly recommend that you show it to all of your players. Now some frequently asked questions. Under what weather conditions can a match be canceled or discontinued? Rain, snow, or severe temperatures, 35 degrees or lower, or a heat index of 100 degrees or higher? What if it pours prior to the match? Contact the opposing team's captain. If they say it's playable, arrive at the facility with your team and be prepared to wait up to 1 hour after start time. If both captains agree that courts will not be playable within the hour, a rainout is called and the match is rescheduled. Both captains must agree. If you stay the full hour and the courts are still not playable, reschedule the match. Within 90 minutes prior to the scheduled match time, if determined by home team captain and agreed by the opposing captain that the courts are not playable and will not be playable, a rainout can be called and the match rescheduled. 90 minutes prior. How do I reschedule a match? Rescheduled matches due to inclement weather should be rescheduled within 48 hours. The matches must be completed within 13 days of the original scheduled match. Captains shall exchange lineups and may allow each line to schedule their own matches. That's so much easier to do. Allow them to do it instead of you as a captain trying to keep up with all of that information. Substitutions may be made, but players may not be moved in the lineup. Notification of a substitution is not required. Notify the LLC of the rescheduled dates and a lineup if the match was called before the exchange. These dates are official and can only be canceled for weather. What happens if you lose your hat or a ball falls out of your pocket during an unofficiated match? If you are playing an unofficiated match, which is what we play, and a ball falls out of your pocket, only the opponent can call a let or a do-over. You are not allowed to do that. During my singles match, my opponent hit her first serve into the net. The ball ended up in the middle of the service box, but my opponent did not make an attempt to move it. I requested that she move the ball off the court, but my opponent stated that she was fine with the ball laying there. Since the ball was on her side of the net, does he or she have to move it? Just because the ball is on your opponent's side does not mean he is the king of that side of the court. The server should respect their opponent's request to remove the ball from the court. Whenever a ball is not in play, a player must honor an opponent's request to remove a ball from the court or from an area outside the court that is reasonably close to the lines. It's distracting and obviously not safe either. When playing a singles match, I noticed my opponent getting close to the center service mark. It wasn't until the second set that I realized he was crossing it during his service motion. Is that allowed? Can the server start behind the baseline and cross the center service mark during his service motion? A player cannot cross the imaginary extension of the center service mark, so they can't cross the baseline nor the service mark. If your opponent crosses it during his service motion, it's considered a foot fault. Now, 2 prize questions. First one, is coaching ever allowed in one of our local league matches? If so, when? Be the first to email me with the correct answer and the regulation reference and receive a prize at macontennisllc@gmail.com. The second prize question. I was playing in my local league singles match, and after a really long rally, we forgot the score. My opponent, who was serving, said it was 40-15, but I thought the score was 30-30. What is the proper procedure figuring out what the score should be? Be the first to email me with the complete answer and win a prize. Thanks for watching this video and good luck. Have a great season, y'all.